Good evening, everyone. Do you want to come in, or are you happy standing in the doorway?
I'm quite happy standing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, welcome to the January meeting of Wedmore Parish Council. And to begin the meeting, I must remind everyone in attendance and who will be participating in this meeting that following government legislation, the meeting may be filmed, recorded, photographed or otherwise recorded, and as before, this meeting is being filmed and recorded by a parishioner. So if there's anyone here, any parishioner who is not going to participate in the meeting and who objects to being filmed and recorded, can you please identify yourself so that we can find you a place out of camera shot? Okay, thank you. Right, well, to start with, before we do anything else, I've had a letter from Councillor Banks, who you all know, and it's a lovely letter, very supportive, but unfortunately he has enclosed his resignation. Okay. He wasn't going to stand again in May, but the letter's here if you want to read it afterwards. You're more than welcome. It's a very supportive letter, but sorry, he has resigned. Right, now then this month I'm going to propose one change to the agenda. There's an item to consider the adoption of visual recording and photographing policy as recommended by SALT and previously circulated to councillors. Now on that document that you've got, point 2.6 of the policy has yet to be confirmed with the legal department, and I don't want to ask anybody to agree to a policy which proves to be open to challenge. So if councillors are happy, I'd like to defer item 1517 to a later meeting. So moved, Madam Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, so we'll move on to the meeting. First of all is to receive any apologies for absence.
Yes, Madam Chairman. Apologies from Lindsay Craig, Richard Kilburn and Andrew Nash, who may make it, but I don't, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you. Reports from county and district councillors. So, David, I've seen you, yes.
So we are, Chairman. Thank you. I won't be long, Chairman. I think since our last meeting we've had some good news from the government. They are actually going to dual the A303, which is a subject of a lot of lobbying from us over the years. And also, rather more importantly, I guess, for us, dueling I always get the road number wrong. I think it's the A364 or A5 or something. It's the Ilminster to Taunton Road, which is critical. 358. Okay, I'm going to write that down because I report this at every meeting and I get the wrong number. 358. Sorry. Okay. And as yet, they don't seem to want us to give a contribution, which is a bit odd. So really, really good news, and we will await with interest. I think when it happens, and all political parties seem to be signed up to it, so whatever the result of the general election, we hope it should happen, is that we'll have to do something then about Junction 25, which is pretty much already at capacity. But that pretty good news, really. Amongst all the other things that come our way, it's nice not to have to build all your own infrastructure. The one thing that I brought with you this evening, which I'll present to you for sort of future thinking about, it's becoming increasingly difficult to subsidise all the buses that we've become used to across the county. And I'm conscious of the fact that none of my communities, to my knowledge, have any other schemes afoot to help residents who are perhaps less fortunate than ourselves to get around. And to that end, I've been doing a little bit of research about community car schemes. Now, I have to admit that in this part of Somerset, including my near neighbours who cover quite a big chunk of Somerset, there are no community car schemes, or in some parts of the county there are lots. So I've got sort of Janet and John story about car schemes, and I can only commend it to you for stick it in your circulation file and see if you think it's something that you might get together, because even if you've got buses at the moment, I have to say that even the bus savings that we will perhaps reject over the next couple of weeks when we set our budget, if we reject them year, I'm pretty sure they'll come back as first call items next time round, because we're on a trajectory of losing government grant to the year 2020, by which time the government, I think of whichever party, frankly, will want us to be self-sufficient. So we all agree that we need to increase income and cut expenditure. So we will see how we get on. So that's really my report, Chairman. I think you've got, you've probably got some, the Clerk will report later that you've got the public footpath diversion order.
That arrived this morning.
Okay, there we are. So I don't need to bring that up, so that's fine. And there's a little bit of correspondence from a parishioner, but I'm quite happy to take questions, Chairman, if I may.
Anything? No.
I'll just say a little to listen to the public questions, and then I'll clear off and give you a bit more room, Chairman. Thank you.
Richard, have you got anything?
A couple of swift items really. The major application for the National Grid pylons is open in Weston-super-Mare and was immediately adjourned for further submissions and clarification. A local one, there's been a very long-running dispute on private sewage works at Crickham. It's drawn to a close. The District Council will fund the modifications necessary to transfer them to Wessex Water, previously they were in the ownership of the council, so that the residents will be paying a normal water rate. Now this was been a long run. This was started by Councillor Theale in 1996, and I took it on when I came in. So it's the close of a very long-running campaign, and happily to the advantage of the residents. That's it. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I say
You said
thank you,
that.
Richard, for getting it sorted. It's been a problem all the time I was on Sedgemoor, 20 some odd years.
Well, as you know, it's a bit like pushing a
Yeah.
with your nose.
Yeah.
So.
Any questions for Richard? Alright, 1513, to record any declarations of interest.
Yes, Madam Chairman, 1516, financial matters.
Thank you. Um, 1514, the minutes of the meeting held on the 17th of December.
They've been circulated, Madam Chairman.
To be approved and signed. Is everybody happy that to sign these?
Yeah.
Right, matters arising from the minute.
Just got one, Madam Chairman, just to update on the flood prevention issues we mentioned last month. I've had a word with Will Jackson, who does some gardening work and grass cutting for us. He's quite happy to take on the role of keeping the drains which are susceptible to flooding clear. He's already had a go at the sump down on the Cheddar Road, and the Cheddar Road down in Wedmore, and also some work on the gullies on the Blackford Road as well. A couple of hours a week, he reckons, and that's what we pay him some extra hours this month for doing that. And I think he's doing quite a good job. He's a very good start anyway.
Yes, I did have a positive email to say it was good.
Through you, Madam Chairman, is that just, I mean, in case of accident, is that covered?
Well, he's self-employed. He's not an employee of the council. He's self-employed. He has his own insurance anyway for his work that he does for other people. But I have made sure that he's wearing the right reflective coat and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. I think we discussed this last time. This is really a Sedgemoor responsibility. But you know, the current way things are going, it's we have to help ourselves to a certain extent.
Sure.
We don't really want Wedmore and surrounding areas flooded, so. Okay, financial matters, audit accounts.
I think.
Yeah, I've gone through, so I'm happy they're all correct.
And I've also had it from Councillor Banks before he put his resignation as well. I shall be needing, Madam Chairman, somebody else to take on that role of checking the accounts every month, as well with William. I don't know Everybody fancies that job. It's not too onerous.
It's not too. It takes
Quite a long time. But
and there very rarely are any errors, and if they are, a quick phone call, a quick, already sorted, spotted it, done, sorted. It's really not.
What about Councillor Avery? Would you like to take this one?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
That would be quite useful. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Could I have somebody sign the cheques, please? Will you? Thank you.
Is there a new pen back, Richard?
Okay, 1517, that's going to be deferred. And so 1518, to receive an update from the Chair of Housing Committee on affordable housing schemes and to consider any recommendations from the committee.
Yes, Madam Chairman. There's an information update to be held on the 10th of February from 2 till 8 o'clock in the Swan. And that's about
Both the halls were booked, and the Village Hall and the Masonic Hall.
And 2 till 8 at the Swan.
Yeah.
Are Green Slate Taylor Hunt going to be there?
No, they're not.
No.
Chairman.
No, they're going to send us, I think they're going to send us some information, aren't they?
Yeah, they're providing the
I think
display boards.
Duncan Harvey's supposed to be there.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, I did confirm with Duncan Harvey today that he would be there with various displays for anybody who needs affordable housing.
Right, okay. So, well, when the meeting's finished, we'll have to sort of get a rotor up of people that's going to be doing this. I mean, is it going to be the Housing Committee and the Planning Committee that's going to be there answering questions? Do other people want to envisaging all the council being there during the afternoon and evening, or was it just the Housing and Planning Committee?
Housing Committee should all be there, or most of them should be there during the day, and the rest of the councils can come along as well.
Okay.
Would be helpful.
Yeah, it would be helpful.
Really helpful to have as many of the parish council there as possible, yes.
I'll get a rotor circulated, Madam Chairman, tomorrow morning.
You going to be there, Richard, all day?
Yeah.
Good. You're going to be there all day, Martin?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, that's fine. Does anybody else want to ask anything about this? About this? 2 till 8 at the Swan on the 10th of February.
Oh, there should be some leaflets being distributed.
Yes, I'm in discussion with Royal Mail at the moment. It's intended every household in the parish will get a leaflet through the letterbox delivered by the postman. We don't know the exact numbers yet. The girl's going away to work out how many houses are in BS28 area. And we'll have to do the odd few at Panama as well by hand, I think. But the costs will be, I hope, will be borne by the agents in this case. It could be, I don't know. I haven't had a proper costing yet. It would be wrong to say, but it'll be a few hundred, I think.
And are we going to put notices on display boards around the village?
Yeah.
And in the Cheddar Valley?
Cheddar Valley and the Mercury have already
And
done.
okay.
The amount of notice given is quite important. A possibility that some people just didn't hear far enough ahead last time. So this will be sent out at least 2 weeks before?
As soon as I get the Royal Mail come back, I shall get, well, the leaflets have been designed, and it's a matter of printing them off, so it's not a problem.
It's not that far away.
Well, we did say at a housing meeting that it might be sort of within like a week or two.
Yeah, we did say that quite quickly.
So,
We do what we can.
yeah.
Yes, certainly.
Right. And so we're going to have this meeting, and then it will just go to the planning committee at some point in the future.
It's going in front of,
Possibly on the 17th of February.
yes, 17th of February.
But people are not expected to be writing more letters of complaint or things like this. There's nothing else. They haven't got to submit any more forms to Sedgemoor to say we don't like this application. That's it. That part of it's all closed, isn't it?
I think the
They
consultation
don't.
period.
There's no more letters to be written by parishioners
It
to
had to
say,
be, you had to go and register now and go and speak.
and that will be at the planning meeting.
It's on the same day as the Theale solar as well, so that should be quite a fun day, really.
Right. So if people want to speak against it, they've got to register with Sedgemoor, and then they can go and speak against it at that
Only
meeting.
one person.
Only one person can.
Only one person.
You have one person against and one person for.
Okay.
And you get exactly 3 minutes, Justin.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
No more.
Okay.
Okay?
Right. Does anybody, any councillor want to say anything else about that? Okay. Right, the next one is 1519, to consider a request to apply for planning permission to refurbish the car park and roadway at Blackford Village Hall.
I put this on the agenda following Councillor Cahill's comments at the last meeting, but I've had nothing in writing from anybody, the control committee or anybody.
No, I think they're still trying to get sort of estimates in and prices in. But when they had a meeting, they asked me to ask the council if the council could pay for the planning application.
Can I suggest we defer this until we get a proper...
I think David wants to speak.
Just for information, I have passed on to the chairman of the village hall. I think the information I formally gave to I think Richard and to Clerk about the fact that the county council have no ownership issues over the road.
Yeah, I got that letter.
Okay, that's fine.
But when we got all the valuations down, the prices in, then we can sort of work something out from there. Look at the date when it's going to be sorted out. Because we're talking about putting some lighting up there as well.
Okay. Well, we can't do anything about that. 15110, to consider a speaker for the annual assembly. What's the date of this annual assembly?
It's the week after our March meeting, 25th.
March the 20-something. Yeah. Okay. Are we still happy that we invite the head teacher from Wedmore Parish Council? That was what we thought before, wasn't it? We were just going to, nothing else has come up since. I did speak to her and she seemed to be quite happy. Okay, right, that's fine. To consider a worthy recipient of the Henry Butt Trophy.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, as you're aware, we keep this under wraps until the day of the assembly. I've had one nomination for 2 people. I'm going to pass it round to you and we'll have a look, and then perhaps you'll get it back to me. If anybody else has any other suggestions, I'll be pleased to receive them ASAP.
So we need to decide this at the next meeting.
Yes.
That's in February, but
That's coming on,
We-
say,
so if you know, we might get some more in by then. We can
That's
vote.
quite a cut down. Sorry, Chairman, it's quite a cut down letter. There are a lot of reasons here why the 2 people are being nominated. But I just put the names there for you.
okay.
Sorry.
Right. 15112 is to consider funding the recycling bins at Wedmore playing field. And we have discussed this before. We put a notice in the Isle of Wedmore News.
The situation, Madam Chairman, was that November we discussed this and we agreed that we will revisit in 3 months' time, leave it as it was. That will be next month's meeting, February, so we should address it again. I know Councillor Bird wanted to mention it this evening.
I think you should. We've got something.
Well, it's really
else.
just very briefly say I've had an approach from the playing fields to say that having thought longer and harder about it, they would perhaps like to float the thought to the parish that the parish would pay a rent to keep the recycling bank there. So I think, as Clerk has said, we'd discuss that next month. So you know it's coming and you can have your thoughts ready.
Okay.
If we were to discuss it, do we have some idea of what sort of rent they're thinking?
That's what I was going to ask.
I've not been given a thought yet.
Not even a ballpark.
I thought principle was important first.
Right.
Then we might go into negotiations. But I don't suppose they'll be greedy.
Okay. 15.113, issues and questions raised by councillors.
I have one, Madam Chairman. Andrew Nash emailed me this afternoon. I'll just read this out really quickly. Please can I read out a short statement from him regarding the burglaries of village halls. You'll probably see this in the local paper last week. Both the Parish Council and the Village Hall Management Committee, this is Wedmore, have been advised by the police that burglaries of village halls are on the rise and that village hall committees should upgrade their security arrangements if necessary. The police have offered to assist with this. Wedmore Village Hall Committee has not yet been able to arrange a date for the police inspection, but hope to do this shortly. As the parish has 3 village halls, it may be sensible for them to work together to come up with a plan that assists all and get a combined price for any works that may need to be done. I would like to discuss this under a specific agenda item at next month's Parish Council meeting if the members present tonight agree. In the meantime, please can Blackford and Theale village halls consider the offer made by the police and decide what they may need to do in terms of improved security if possible prior to this meeting. I am happy to coordinate any report back to the Council from the 3 village hall committees if appropriate. Andrew Nash.
Okay. Right. Blackford and Theale village halls.
Did you say, through you, Madam Chairman, have they arranged a date?
No.
There isn't a date arranged.
I mean, I think...
And the various halls, the 2 other halls have not had any notification as yet.
I don't know what contact they've had. I mean, I spoke to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I also spoke to
Yes, sure.
Councillor Avery for
Yeah.
the email, I think, to you. Yeah. They've had a burglary at Mark and at Birtle and one
Yeah,
other as
sure.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's quite important for the police to be involved to perhaps give some sort of guidance as to what might be necessary.
They say on their printout, on their publicity that came out following this, that they were going to contact every village hall committee in the area. But I don't think while I hear they've done it yet.
Is it up to us to chase the
Do you
police
think
about
that's
this,
what
or is it
the
the village hall
Madam Chairman, do you
committee?
think village hall committees should approach the police to gee them up a bit?
Yeah.
Stable doors, horses bolting and all that,
Madam Chairman, we've always tried to treat them all the same. So I think if one wants it and the other 2 don't want it, we've got to consider how we go. But I would have thought all 3 would have wanted
I would think so.
some form of alert and
Yeah.
thing.
I would think.
I think, Madam Chairman, there's a committee meeting the 11th of February, is it? Pete? Is that so right?
I think it's the 11th. Yeah, it is the 11th.
Yeah, so,
And that's before our next PC meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. But I mean, I don't mind going to see Steve and tell him Steve Boomer is the chairman of Blackford Village Hall. I mean, I could go, or I mean, I can see the secretary, which is just lives down the road from me, and say that this is ongoing and we need to.
Well, we do need to have some sort of idea of what to be included by the next
Madam
meeting.
Chair, could I suggest, I don't know whether it's been necessarily alarmist, that all the village halls should meet especially and have a special discussion so that we as a parish know before the next meeting what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because if it's a rash of burglaries, well, it isn't going to wait for us to have 2 or 3 meetings before we sort it out.
But on the other hand, if the police are going to advise on that, is that, have I got it right?
Yes.
But you have to ask them to come, you know.
Yeah, we need to have their advice before we
Before we do
decide
anything, yeah.
what action to take. I mean, if they say put on new security doors or whatever in certain places,
Yeah. I mean, I can't guess what their advice would be.
No.
They might just guess, well, have a new alarm system put in or something, and like that. I think the whole committee will have to approach the police.
Well, I certainly, I think, see Steve to see what they want to, you know, whether they want to bring that meeting forward. Well, we don't.
You don't know, you see, do you? I mean, it's.
Well, we really do want to discuss it at the next meeting, at the next
Oh, sure.
session, so that we
Yeah.
know what.
But I mean, unless, without being sort of
Yeah, I know. What you mean.
obstructive, unless we know what is desired.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the village hall committees are just going to have to get in touch with the police and make them
Right.
come along.
I would have thought the police would only be too pleased to come to all three of them on the same day. If they could
Sure.
arrange it.
Yeah.
Just put a meeting somebody there and just
Yeah.
hear what they've got to say.
Same.
Second guess it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll certainly,
Yeah.
or
Discuss.
well, I don't know where you move, I don't mind, but I mean, I don't mind going and seeing either Ellen or,
Well, you see one of them, and I'll try and see one, so we get it both ways.
if you, I'll see the secretary, and if you see Steve, or if you know, if you can, I mean, I don't mind popping down and seeing Steve.
Rather than the other chairman.
Yeah. I don't mind that chosen time for yourself. It's got to come from the village hall committees, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, if you try and sort something out and get back to Rod so
Yeah.
that we've got it for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's what we need. Okay. Correspondence.
Sorry, anything else from the councillors? Have you got that one? Sorry. Nobody else wants to raise the other issue.
Was there, did you want to say anything about the
I'm not quite sure whether it comes under other issues or whether it comes under matters of report for the next meeting. What do you reckon?
You got the floor, go for it.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, go on then.
There's a local parishioner has raised a problem with vehicles going down to the Hawkers Farm solar farm. We've had they're basically using the wrong route, and they've been advised to go down through North Road. They should be going down through Yeomore. Getting into Yeomore is quite difficult. I'm wondering if you could write a letter to Sedgmore, just asking them to remind the applicants, Greenfields, that actually they have a preferred route and they should be sticking to that. That's what I'd like the parish to do.
Can you do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see a large lorry going up this morning full of things. I thought, golly, something's happening out there. Yeah.
I'll send that off from behalf of the council tomorrow.
Has there been any other problems with these lorries going down there?
Not that I'm aware of.
No. Any more issues and questions? Okay. Correspondence?
So this on with the summons and also as extras on the table. Extras. One's a footpath variation, I think, and the other one's concerning the road closure on the Chettenham Wedmore Road by the cemetery.
So that road's going to be closed by the cemetery?
By the cemetery
Why?
for water works or drainage or something to do with drainage, I think. But we'll be able to access via Crookham and the golf club that area, right?
And what about the school buses?
They'll probably do what they did before and go up over long road, long hill.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the alternative official route,
It takes you down to Bridgewater, Glastonbury.
yeah,
The school bus in Larfan managed quite well. They all went round up through
Yeah.
Crookham and.
tourist Somerset.
Yeah.
And it's going to be closed for 19
Well,
days?
so it says 19 days. That's the maximum on the order. Then hopefully they'll finish it before then. But
Okay.
who knows?
Right.
Water is water works.
Okay. Any more correspondence we need to think about?
I don't think so. No, Chairman, no. Self-explanatory.
Okay. Committee reports? Cemetery?
Okay, just a couple of things, just as I'm sure you can see on the checks. We've had the shed in the corner of the cemetery removed. Obviously there was a bit of an increased cost due to the asbestos boxes relating to the roof, but that's hopefully done. And the other thing I was going to query, in relation to that correspondence, is how is it going to affect, is there actually going to be access to the cemetery?
Well, I'll have to keep an eye on this as they start. I've already told Somerset County Council, we have got a cemetery there. Well, I'm sure we'll still have access through down. Looking on the map, it looks as though it's going to be nearer to your place than, you know. So I think we should be okay. But it's going to mean everything's going to come in the other direction. So the shed has gone, by the way. It's all moved out.
That's all, Madam Chairman.
Okay. Facilities allotments and footpaths. Finance and general purposes. Housing, that one. Highways, car park and brook. Planning.
11th of February. We've got 7 already.
Okay. Reports from representatives on committees. Isle of Wedmore News. No, don't think there is anything. Play areas.
I can report the inspections were done this week at the 3 play areas. They forgot to do it in October. I chased them last week for the reports and realised they hadn't been done, so they were doing them last week.
Oh, very good. Any issues with Blackford or Wedmore? Or
No.
Clerk, Jeff?
The meeting is noted in the correspondence, other than that, nothing.
Wedmore playing fields management.
Got a meeting next month.
Madam Chairman, I've been asked, as now Edge Banks has gone, he came in today, he's rather concerned that somebody else took on his position on the committee, and he suggested that perhaps Councillor Theale might, as he goes to the meetings anyway, might be one of the parish representatives, and that's the members.
Is that all right, Neil?
Yes.
I'll take that one, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Village halls? Anything from Wedmore Village Hall? No. Theale?
Nothing to report, Madam Chairman.
Blackford?
No, I don't think, Madam Chairman, other than what we've discussed about security, etc. And the ongoing refurbishment of the lane and the car park.
Right, matters of report and items for the next meeting. Oh, I think we've got quite a few things for the next meeting.
Yeah, nearly everything.
Okay, everything from this meeting looks like it'll come back at next meeting. Anything from the clerk?
No, Madam Chairman.
Right. Anything from councillors for the next meeting?
No, I should have brought it up, Madam Chairman, under highways, I suppose. I'm a bit concerned. I came back from Wells today, and I don't know if it's electric or whether it's telephone or both that cross into Champneys.
Pilham.
Yeah, Pilham.
Cable.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a very low cable. It wasn't a load of story, which is I don't know what you call the high-sided ones with protective sheeting, pentacle or whatever they're called, and that went through. It wasn't that close, but it looked from the car. I was coming down from Theale Great House, as it were, and when it came through there, it did look. I don't know if you've noticed a really big sag in it.
There is. Yeah, I noticed it.
You noticed it. I don't know whether it should be electric, but I mean that's the only sort of thing is to.
Well, I've got exactly where it is.
What it
We'll
is.
discuss the meetings
Yeah, it's the entrance to Pilham.
It is.
It doesn't mean the things
It's an electric cable.
Does it?
Yeah, and it's right by the entrance to Pilham Farm.
And it crosses the road. So you want to see.
We do need to report it to the electricity board if it's an electric cable. Yeah.
So if you cross the road outside Pilham.
Yeah, the entrance.
Yeah, the entrance of Pilham.
Yeah.
Is that near the before you get to the fan or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's right back
This end of it.
Okay, that's what we've got.
Anything else? Jeff? No. Martin? Anything? No. Nick? Richard? Right. Well, I declare the meeting closed at 8:05.